Hello everyone, welcome back to Glitz and Glitter. So if you watched my videos the past few days, you've seen me do all these bloom trays that did not work. So I'm gonna give up on that for a while, but I do have one more tray I want to do, and it's for summertime. And because I got some of this cool stuff in and I have some pressed flowers still, I wanted to do a half and half tray. Now this tray comes from BeeBeeCraft, and I want the YouTubers out there, the resin YouTubers, to know if you have 100 subscribers or more, you can qualify to get some free molds from them if you want to. So check BeeBeeCraft out for that. That's where this one came from. So what I did is kind of cut this in half because I'm going to be using my favorite flakes, chameleon flakes. This comes in a set of 8, all different colors. And I'm in love with them and I want to use them on everything. But I also wanted to do my pressed flowers. Now I have a whole bunch out. This is just a little example sitting here. I have all kinds of colors sitting here waiting for me. What I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of, not a straight line like this, but it's going to keep this from getting all messed up with some flakes. I'm going to pour my polyurethane resin over that part. I don't know how, somehow I'm going to keep it on the side, maybe prop it up like this when I pour it. This thing holds like 22 to 24 ounces of resin. I know it doesn't look like that big, but it certainly is that big. I'm just trying to get everything situated over here. Sorry, you guys. And after this stuff cures in like 10 minutes, I think. What does it say? 1-to-1 ratio by volume or weight. It does dry completely white, so keep that in mind. You can color it. I've done a video on coloring this before, but you can't use everything you think you can use. So definitely check out that video. You have 2 minutes to work with it and 10 minutes to curing. So what I know, I can combine this with regular resin because I want clear resin on this side for my flowers. But you have to pour the polyurethane resin first. You cannot pour your normal epoxy first because this will not stick to it. It won't be opposite. So you must pour your polyurethane resin first. Same goes with the powdered resins. You have to pour the powdered first if you're going to use the powder, and then your epoxy. So I'm just going to do like a really thin, just to make these stand out because I know that's going to cure white and that'll make these look really pretty. And then I'm going to pour another layer when that's cured and place my flowers in, and then I'll pour a back coating on the back, probably with sparkle. You know how I am. So first I'm gonna just start laying these down, and make sure your ceiling fans are off because it will go everywhere. Now this could possibly take this whole entire bottle, I don't know, but make sure you just burnish it in there really, really, really good. And it'll spread, and I think it's going to be gorgeous. So this is going to take me a few minutes. I will put you on a little fast forward. Enjoy the music, and then we will mix up some polyurethane. I didn't do too bad, you guys. I only used like half a jar. This stuff just puffs right back up when it's in there, so they must pack it in pretty good. So I got it everywhere. There's going to be some cleanup. I took some extra molds that I have sitting here and I just placed them underneath to kind of hold the resin back that way. So whatever the polyurethane doesn't get on, I will try to clean off the best I can. I hope I can. So if you're going to color your polyurethane, this is all on the outside, you will pour half. So say I'm actually going to do 8 ounces. So I'm going to pour half, my 4 ounces of one of them. Then at this point is when you would color your resin. I just dripped it in there. So if you're gonna make any colorings, now's the time because you only have 2 minutes to work with this. Sorry, had to go get a stick. So I'm not coloring mine because I want it white. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pour the other 4 ounces in, mix it up, and pour it. And we'll be able to watch it cure before our eyes. 8 could be too much, but I don't know how much I need for this portion. So I kind of hold my cup and you could feel it getting really hot when a minute goes by, about a minute. But I stir it as long as I think I can. And then I go ahead and pour it. So it's getting warm already. I mean, I could still hold it, but it does get burning hot. So you don't want to hold it too long, but I do want to make sure it's mixed perfectly. It's getting warmer and warmer. It's starting to get hot. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pour. Like I said, I may have to throw some of this in another mold. I don't know how this is gonna work. Trying to hold, I don't really want it half full. I just want like an organic line, you know what I mean? And I didn't really want it to go past that, so I do need to hold this up a little bit more. Wipe it off of there somehow. So this isn't gonna be exactly to my plan. I just didn't want it on that. Let me pour a little bit more. It's gonna be uneven, I know that. And I just want to try to, before I worry about the extras, I don't want it on my resin part. I didn't think about how I would fix that if it got on there, so I need to lift this up higher. Come on, go down, go down, go down. It's gonna start curing any second. So I'm hoping somehow I can clean that off. I don't know how, because it's gonna be white without the sparkle. If it, see it's starting to cure already. I need to move this one in or just hold it up. And yeah, I'm gonna waste about 2 ounces because it's curing in my cup. And I'm more worried about my tray than I am the extras. So I'm just gonna sit here and hold this while it cures. Please don't go. I don't know if I can clean that off or not. All right, as you can see, I was wiping with alcohol as fast as I could. If I had like air dry clay or something, I could have done a really nice line, but I didn't have any on hand, so I was kind of doing it the way I can only do it. I had nothing to block, so it worked out fine. I was able to wipe all that thin resin off. This is hard as a rock. It's only been 10 minutes. It's still a little bit warm, but not too bad. So I mix up 6 ounces of my Fast Cure. I hope that's on my other side. Yeah. I'm just going to pour this on this side and get some flowers in it. Now, if you're working on something like this, make sure you know if you're working upside down or right side up. I'm working upside down. So the bottom, obviously, is going to be the top. So when you're putting flowers in something like that, make sure your flowers are facing down. Which I don't always like to work with flowers that way, but it'll be okay. I'm just gonna push this over. It is going over this a little bit, which is fine, absolutely fine, because I'm gonna be backing the whole thing. I'm just gonna use my heat gun. Pop the bubbles I made. I do have a few on the bottom. Let me get those off the bottom. I'm sure I will have some in my flowers. It always happens to me. I don't have any resin to be able to dip it into, but flowers, it'll just look like dewdrops on my flowers. So I don't get too concerned about bubbles on my flowers. All those flakes you see are on the underneath on the paper. All right, now I'm just going to start placing all my flowers where I want them. I'm going to start with some greenery if I can. Hopefully these don't fly all over my room. I'm going to have a definite like bottom. Actually, my greenery, I don't know why I always forget. Your greenery, when you're doing it backwards, goes on the back side. It doesn't go first. I'm always tempted to put it down first. So I'm going to just lay some flowers down, and then I will be pushing them under probably. I just want to get a whole bunch in here. All different colors for the colors of summer. And then I will let it cure, and then we'll back coat it. It's really pretty easy, actually. I have no rhyme or reason. I don't have a plan when it comes to flowers. I just don't. I'm not a great designer. It usually ends up looking okay, but not because I have a plan, because it's accidental. I love these little things. Let's see, what else do I have? I'm going to just go ahead and push some under right now, and then I'll put some greens on here. And they'll float back to the surface, but at least there's resin on the backs of them and they're not floating all over my tray. Okay, that's it for now. I'm just gonna let this sit here and cure. I didn't want to use the heat gun to pop the bubbles because I didn't want anything to move. I added a little butterfly in there. The only thing I do make sure I do when I do dried flowers is I make sure that the flower itself, these I didn't really care about, but the flowers themselves, I wanted greens behind them as if they were growing on them. That's the only thing that I make sure that I do. I just don't have them floating out by themselves. I try not to. Who knows what's going to happen when I flip it over. All right, so once this is cured, we're going to back coat it, and then that's it. It's pretty simple, actually. It's just a few steps, which is not a big deal. Everything I do seems to be a few steps, so just another day in paradise. All right, see you on the next coat. It is cured. It's ready for the back coat. So I mix up 12 more ounces, and this is my epoxy resin this time. And until 5 minutes ago, it was going to be clear with some crushed crystal, and then I changed my mind. I'm going to put the slightest bit. This is the lightest pink that I could find that I have, and it's called pink. I'm going to color it pink, I think, because I don't want to see, there's a lot of wrinkles in this polyurethane resin. Oh, I haven't used this one. It's not open. Give me a moment. There's a lot of like wrinkles and stuff on the back, and I don't want to see that. So I think the pink is going to go well with the flakes that I used. So I could kind of see the edge there, and holding that up, it's about the same color. I'm not going to do a ton of pink for this much resin. I just want a hint of pink. Just enough to cover all of this, so it's all the same color. Yeah, like, see how pretty and light that is? I am gonna pop this through my vacuum chamber just because I don't want all these bubbles in here. I'm not sure I'll see them. Let me just put some on the back of this and see if it's gonna cover. It almost covers. I'm gonna need a little bit more mica. Not 100%. Do one more scoop. Hopefully it looks fine at unmolding. I don't ever know. It's always a surprise. All right, I'm going to get the bubbles out and then we'll be back to pour. Here we go. It's gonna be a different color, I think, from this side to that side because of the white background. I mixed up 12 ounces. I don't think we're gonna use it all, but I always surprise myself. Yeah, we're gonna use it all. Let me just get this back here. So this is gonna take 24. Actually, it needs more than the 12. For some reason, my water calculations don't work very well anymore. It always ends up taking more. I may not be filling it completely up either. That could be the problem. This needs a few more ounces, but I think, yeah, I'll mix up a few more off camera, get it poured in. Actually, no, I can't. Yes, I can. I think this is unlevel. Here I go back and forth. All right, I'm gonna mix up a few more, pour it in, let it cure, and be back in a sec. It's cured, ready to unmold. Are you guys ready? I am. Oh, I have this little heart that I poured. Let's get this out real quick. Of course, sparkly as usual. I just love this little mold. I have a few things from another pour. So, oh, unless it was this pour, I don't know. But I have these, so I will finish these off, these cute little turtles. And an Oreo cookie. I will make that into a keychain. I'm not sure what I'm going to make these into, but I will figure it out and I will show the process on a little fast forward for you. And let's get this unmolded. What do you think about the pink? So it's two different colors because one is behind white and one is behind clear. The only thing I do notice, this mold is really thin and there is a wavy effect on my resin, which really kind of stinks. So that means it has to be top coated. And because it has to be top coated, I decided I'm gonna go ahead and put lettering on this part of it since I have to top coat anyway. Oh, I'm stuck on here on something. I did not even torch this and it was like stuck right there. I rarely torch anything for that reason, so I don't know what happened. I might have used my lighter, but I don't think a lighter would do that. Are you ready? Oh, look at that. Is that gorgeous? Now you can see some texture behind in the mica powder behind here, which is okay. It's not exactly what I wanted. I do need to trim this. But look at that, iridescent. It's green and blue, and I don't like that big lump right there. So that's gonna get filled in. So everything will be level when I'm done. It's just a pain to try to top coat something like this. Now I need to choose colors for my lettering, but all in all, it looks pretty cute. What do you think about all the flowers? It's not my best job, but it's not too bad. I was thinking about pink lettering, but I'm not sure. And I don't like this line, so I think what I'm gonna do is take some glitter and just kind of, I don't know, blot out that line with the glitter line. That's, you'll understand when I'm doing it. I know what I want to do in my head. So let me pick a color. I'm gonna get my Cricut ready to go. And let's get some lettering on here. That is so pretty. Look at that. It's pink to blue to green. Pink, blue, and green. So pretty. I love these flakes. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I chose dark blue, and it says, "Where flowers bloom, so does hope." So I'm just going to get this hopefully centered the best that I could. And then before I top coat this, I'm going to go ahead. A lot of you, actually, everybody that commented about me doing my extras on a fast forward said yes, everybody except one person. So I'm gonna go with the majority here. But yeah, if you don't want to see me do the extras, just fast forward. It's okay. A lot of people do learn, especially the new people, kind of the process, the time involved to do the extra stuff that I make. So I will go ahead and do those first before I top coat this, and then I can leave this all to just sit and cure, and then that will be it. That is so cute. Where flowers bloom, so does hope. And yeah, I won't do the top coat all on a fast forward because I want to show you how I'm going to cover up this line. But let me get these extras taken care of first. I mixed up 4 ounces of my tabletop epoxy. If you're coating anything, I highly recommend you use tabletop epoxy. It's a high viscosity resin that gels up really quickly. So if you have edges that it might go over, it'll just cut down on the time that it has to like go over the edge. So that's what I always use, especially for charcuterie boards that we do, or clocks, or something on a big scale. You want it to gel up as fast as possible. Now, I am not happy with this big indentation that's here. The mold is really, really thin, so that's one thing I'm not too crazy about that mold. I mean, it's a cute design, but it's really thin. So this is really the reason I have to do this. I'm gonna get this put on as if I'm doing a coaster on a larger scale. I'm gonna fast forward you after a little bit, and then I'll come back because I'm going to use this German glitter glass in silver, and I'm going to just put that down this line here. So I'm just gonna go in like a section at a time. Use whatever tool you feel comfortable with. I did not put it in my vacuum chamber because of the work time with it. So I don't have a ton of work time. So I'm not gonna bother with the bubbles. I'll get them out with a torch since it's not sitting in a mold. So I just drag it to the edges, kind of drag it off the edge, and it doesn't go over like the surface tension or whatever it is. Science behind it will hold that. So that's how I'm gonna do this whole thing. And then I will come back just as soon as I have everything on and I'm ready for the glitter. Let me give you a few pointers when you do something like this, which I forgot to do. I didn't check for micro bubbles along the edge, and there was one over here, there's one over here, it's filled in now, and there's one on this side. Let me zoom out. There's one on this side, so it drained off. So quickly, I had to think, and you should prop it up off of your level surface, because if it does drip like that, it's going to stick to whatever's underneath it. And I have construction paper underneath mine, which means I would be sanding and trying to get that all off. So I propped it up with sticks so it's not sticking to the paper. Now, if I would have used like 4-hour fast cure instead of the coating resin, this would have drained for literally an hour and a half. But because I used the coating resin, it's already done draining and it's only been like 10 minutes. So all I did was just wipe it up. I wiped it off the edges. It's no longer draining because it's starting to gel up quickly. I torched the top to get all the bubbles out. So now I'm just gonna take a little tiny spoon, and I hope my plan works. And I'm just going to spoon some of this glitter glass onto the line. And then I'll move it around how I want it. Just to, and of course it's like right in a spot where it's gonna drain. I'm just gonna soften up that line so you don't see that hard line. I'm just gonna, you know, abstract, get it up underneath the resin for sure, so you don't have to do this again. Now, if you use glitter itself, this is glass, which is heavy and it should stay in place. If you use regular glitter, it'll probably float around. And I would just wait a lot longer when it gets a lot tackier if you're gonna just use regular glitter. I think that worked out perfectly. Now if I could just keep it from draining right here where I'm putting this glass, that would be beautiful. So I'm just going to manipulate it where I want it. I took the rest of my resin, I poured a couple more keychains out of my little heart molds, not heart mold, my little flower mold, to go with the theme since I'm doing flowers. So I will finish those off as soon as they're cured. And I'll get you some final results in just a second. Everything is done, so I poured 2 more flowers, drilled a hole. This is from my flower mold. Put a little flower charm on each one of them and made keychains. Same way as I did this Oreo one, I drilled the hole and added a keychain. I happen to have a black tassel. I don't get many of those, so I threw it on there. I think I showed you this already. Here's the 2 little turtles. I can't remember if I've showed you guys all this yet. And I made earrings out of these 2, which I got the hole pretty center. I don't know if it's perfect, but those are the extras for the day. And here is the tray. What do you think? I think it came out really pretty. Look at the way those colors change. And then the glitter line came out pretty good. So you can't see that line. Maybe it should have been a little more jagged, but I don't think it's too bad. What do you guys think? Well, that's it for today. I will find another project for tomorrow, and I will see you tomorrow, 9 o'clock sharp. You guys all have a blessed day. Stick around for all the pictures. Bye.